A focus on new housing designs to improve the island's hurricane resilience. Barbadians to be fined for not cleaning up their premises. And in sports, TKR make it 2 in a row in the CPL.
Broadcasting from our studios in the Pine St. Michael, this is CBC Newsnight, starting now.
Hello, I'm Shane Seeley with CBC Newsnight. The spotlight is on the design of houses in Barbados tonight as government charts a new path for hurricane preparedness. Prime Minister Mia Amor-Motley says an extended hurricane season has become the new norm and it is incumbent on government to respond. She believes house designs in Barbados need urgent attention as many of them were flawed in the reconstruction post-Hurricane Janet back in 1955.
What the country then did for the next 60 years is to build flat roofs. Now, how many times have we seen in previous systems, Thomas and others, and you go in the north and houses lost their roofs and are all rickety. There's one in Speightstown that I remember in particular that looked as though if you touch it, the house would have fallen. But the house withstood everything. And it had the traditional gable roofs.
The Prime Minister says all newly built homes should be hurricane resilient and revealed that government will be making 3 or 4 designs available for lower and middle income families.
Once that contest is won as to whose designs we take from the architects and the engineers, that we need also separate from what government sponsors as public housing, that we need to have the Ministry of Public Affairs do some videos and the Ministry of Education and Training do the training so that our artisans and people who want to build on their own are given the tools to be able to prepare themselves for this new reality.
The Prime Minister also believes greater attention must be paid to cleaning up the island if Barbados wants to get serious about hurricane resilience. She says while the government will play its part through the NCC and the Ministry of Transport Works and Maintenance, those entities cannot do it alone. While calling on the entire country to be responsible, the Prime Minister reached out to the nation's children especially.
The children of Barbados, because it's your world that we're protecting, I want the children of Barbados to become the premier litter police for this country. And if you see your mother, your father, your grandmother, your grandfather, your uncle, your aunt, whoever, your teacher, remind them very politely, don't be rude, but remind them that you can't love me if you want to litter in my country. You can't want better for me if you want to litter in my country.
Meanwhile, the Attorney General Dale Marshall has disclosed that legislation will be put in place to encourage Barbadians to keep their premises clean.
We will be imposing a set of civil fines to try to encourage Barbadians to engage in the appropriate kind of conduct. Very much, the Prime Minister calls it taking an offence. It's very much like an offence of parking in the wrong place. It doesn't get ramped up to a criminal procedure at that point. You have an opportunity to pay the fine and make amends. And that's the approach that we want to use in this instance. And also, you'll see that approach rolled out across many other areas of our law. We still have a few more months to go before we're out of this tourist season, before we're out of this hurricane season. But we're hopeful to be able to get this new legislative platform in place.
Now, the Attorney General there and Prime Minister Mia Amor-Motley were speaking at a media briefing on the Bahamas and Hurricane Dorian. Now, you can join us at 9:03 p.m. for a news extra on that press conference. In other stories tonight, entertainers have pledged to donate their time and talent during tomorrow's Rise Again Bahamas telethon. Assistant Program Manager here at the CBC, Jewel Ford, says they include some big names like Lil Rick and Mikey, also spoken word artist Adrian Green, and popular dance troupe Rhythm Tribe. Today, several were busy rehearsing to ensure all goes well during the telethon, which will be broadcast live on TV8, online as well, and on most local radio stations. Ms. Ford says a number of celebrities and personalities have also volunteered to help man the 35 telephone lines in the call centers.
Peter Allen is the producer for the broadcast event, and she was saying to me she's had so many people who've called and offered to come and perform that she now has more artists than ours. So it's going to be good. We're glad to see so many people willing to come forward and offer their talent in this worthy cause. Several corporate entities have called up and offered to make a donation. They'll be coming to make their donations live. We also have several dignitaries from around the region. Barney Scotland, who is the Secretary General of the Commonwealth, the Secretary General of CARICOM, the Honorable Erwin LaRocque, Prime Ministers from across the region whose countries have been devastated by hurricanes of this nature. We are going to be contacting them, and we'll be speaking to them. Some of the dignitaries will be here live at the CBC. Others are going to make their statements and send them to us. The Prime Minister is traveling, but she's assured us that whenever she gets to her destination, she will make a statement and send it back to us.
Now over to the Bahamas, and with major infrastructural damage and the death toll rising in Grand Bahama and Abaco Island, health officials have been focusing on potential diseases in the wake of Hurricane Dorian. Word of this from the Health Minister, Dr. Dwayne Sands. But he says, contrary to rumors on social media, there are no reports of any infectious diseases.
So we typically see some mosquito-borne diseases and/or diseases like leptospirosis that can, if we don't manage this phase properly, become a big, big, big problem. It is for that reason why we have accepted the generous offer from the Pan American Health Organization and their disaster relief teams to assist us in both communities to ensure that our response is appropriate and timely.
Police tonight are probing the discovery of 2 decomposed bodies at a property in Christchurch. Lawmen say about 1:30 this afternoon, a police team visited a house at Regency Park where the discovery of the unidentified bodies was made. The alarm was raised by a relative who had earlier summoned lawmen after she went to the house to pay a visit. Police say 2 females, her 18-year-old granddaughter and her 50-year-old grandmother, were reportedly staying at that residence. The 2 are yet to be found. Police are trying to determine the identity of these bodies. Now, Mary Rosalie Coward is well known for her generosity, but today, well, she was the one receiving gifts as scores of well-wishers turned out to celebrate the island's newest centenarian. Our Sharika Griffith was there and she filed this report.
It's a nice day. Thank God.
That's how Mary Rosalie Coward described the joyous celebrations to mark her 100th birthday. The Governor General paid her customary visit, and the birthday girl seemed especially pleased with the flowers she received from Dame Sandra. Surrounded by family and friends, Aunt Bay, as she's known to many, provided some insight into her early life.
I used to go to school at St. Augustine's, girls' school, and then when I was about 20 years old, I got married.
How many children did you have?
Never had one.
Yeah.
But I had a lot of children. Everybody's child was my child.
Still in relatively good health, aside from some hearing issues, Aunt Bay revealed that she worked as a housekeeper at the Colony Club Hotel for over 15 years. She was also a Sunday school teacher at the St. Augustine Anglican Church. Cousin Ordine Elcock is one of the many people Miss Coward helped care for, and the pair would often visit the beach or go shopping together. She says Aunt Bay has always been very generous and loving.
I learned long ago not to go into Aunt Bay's house and say that I like anything. But if I said I liked it, she would say, "You want it?" I said no. She said, "Have it." And she would insist that I have it. And then I realized that if that continued, I'd be taking all of these things into my own house. So I stopped liking anything in her house. If I liked it, I would just look at it and leave it.
Miss Coward is the second of her siblings to reach the milestone. Her sister Delphine Gibson died at the age of 103 in 2016. Sharika Griffith, CBC News.